The biggest retirement fear is running out of money. But what if you did everything right? You saved $1 million, paid off the mortgage, and still ended up anxious and afraid to spend a dime. Once you stop saving and start living, the rules change. Your money can be in the wrong account, taxed at the wrong time, or locked inside a house you can't spend. And just like that, $1 million stops feeling like $1 million. That's how two people can save the exact same amount and live completely different lives. One is finally taking the trip, enjoying what they worked for. The other is afraid of the next bill, scared to spend, worried about one wrong decision that could leave their spouse in trouble. Same savings, completely different life. Today we're breaking down the 7 levels of retirement wealth, where you stand, what changes at each one, and the one mistake at each level that turns a good retirement into a stressful one. Level 1. Social Security survival. Under $250,000 saved. Here, money isn't about growth or strategy. It's about getting to the end of the month. Meet Carol, 66 and renting, with about $180,000 to her name after a lifetime of work, and a few years out of it caring for her mother. Carol hears the same advice everywhere. Allocate your assets. Diversify. Balance your portfolio. None of it fits her life. She's not lying awake over which index fund to pick. She's watching whether her Social Security check lands before the rent comes out. And her smartest move has nothing to do with investing. It's where she lives. The average check is about $2,000 a month. In Los Angeles, a 1-bedroom costs more than that. The whole check is gone before buying groceries. In Fort Wayne, Indiana, that same apartment runs about $800, leaving more than half the check for food, gas, and breathing room. If Carol moved to somewhere even cheaper, for example Vietnam, or a smaller city like Chiang Mai in Thailand, the same check can cover a comfortable life, with money left to help around the house. Carol's life doesn't change because her savings changed. It changes because her cost of living did. The second move is timing. People say living on Social Security means she failed. She didn't, as long as she gets one thing right. For every year she waits to claim, up to 70, that check grows about 8%. Waiting from 67 to 70 makes the check a quarter bigger for life. When money's tight, a bigger guaranteed check matters far more than squeezing a little extra from savings. And here's what catches couples off guard. When one spouse dies, the household usually drops from 2 Social Security checks to 1. Only the bigger one stays. For a couple already living check to check, that alone can mean they can't make rent. That's exactly why a will and a power of attorney matter, even when there's little to pass on. Without them, the surviving spouse can get locked out of the bank account, or stuck waiting on a court right when they need every dollar. The mistake at level 1 is chasing investment advice built for people with money to invest, when your real power is where you live and when you claim. If you want retirement finance explained in plain English, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because as we move up these levels, the mistakes become less obvious but a lot more expensive. The first place that happens? When you finally have savings. A few $100,000 put away, the house paid off, feeling secure for the first time in years. But that feeling can be misleading. Level 2. Debt-free but cash tight. Between $250,000 and $500,000 saved. The mistake at this level is sneaky. People think being debt-free means they're financially secure. Meet Frank and Diane, both in their late 60s and retired. Their house is paid off, and they have about $400,000 saved plus a small pension. That $400,000 is the number that counts. These levels are about money you can actually spend. Your 401k, your IRA, your cash, not the house you live in. For the first time in their lives, they don't owe anyone a dime. But almost all of that $400,000 is locked inside retirement accounts, and their checking account has a small balance. On paper, they look secure. In reality, they're cash tight. Then, life throws a curveball. The air conditioner dies in the middle of July. The car needs a new transmission. Suddenly, they need real money fast. $5,000, maybe $10,000. And the only easy place to get it is their retirement account. And they withdraw from it, but that one move can hurt 3 ways. They might be selling investments while the market's down. They'll likely owe taxes on the withdrawal. And the savings they were counting on for the next 20 years just got smaller. One surprise bill turns into a decision that follows them for years. The fix is simple. Keep enough cash you can access easily outside the retirement accounts, so a surprise never forces you to sell at the wrong time or hand money to taxes. A few months of expense in a high-yield savings account change everything. And that cushion matters even more if one spouse is left on their own. If Frank passes, Diane's income drops while the bills keep coming, exactly when she can least afford to wait on her own money. At this level, real security isn't what you own, it's what you can reach when life happens. A surprise bill you can plan for. The danger at the next level, you can't. Cross $500,000, and the plan finally starts working on paper, until something out of your control puts it to the test. Level 3. Comfortable but fragile. $500,000 to $1 million saved. This is the disciplined middle class who did everything right. The teachers, the nurses, the steady savers who fed a 401k for years. This should be the safest level yet. So why does it still catch so many people off guard? Meet Robert and Susan. They have $800,000 saved, houses paid off, and both newly retired. Between them, 2 Social Security checks cover the essentials. On paper, they're fine, but there's a weak spot. Social Security covers the basics, not the life they retired for, the travel, the help for the grandkids, the cushion when something big breaks. That comes from their investments. And if the market falls hard in those first few years, just as they start drawing it down, they're cornered, sell shares while prices are low, or give up the life they saved decades for. Selling while the market's down is exactly what shortens how long the money lasts. But they can always sell the house, right? Free up some cash, problem solved. Except the same high interest rates weighing on their stocks also freeze the housing market. When rates are high, fewer buyers can afford to buy, so when Robert and Susan list, real offers are hard to come by, and they may have to drop the price just to close. So what do savvy retirees do? They set up part of their money to pay them, so they're not forced to sell when the market's down. The simplest way is to hold investments that send you a regular check just for owning them. Bonds, or stocks that pay dividends. Some go a step further and sell covered calls, collecting a monthly payment on stocks they already own, almost like paying themselves an extra dividend. The payment rises and falls with the market, and if they're not careful, their shares can get sold off at a set price. But however they do it, the goal is the same. Turn a portfolio they're afraid to touch into steady monthly income. If those early years go wrong and Robert passes, Susan is left with a smaller portfolio and just 1 Social Security check, 2 hits at once. Robert and Susan didn't do anything wrong. They saved, planned, and the math added up. Their blind spot was trusting a plan that looks great on paper, would survive real-world timing. Cross $1 million, and you think the worry ends. Instead, you hit something that feels almost insulting. The couple with less money than you may get to keep more of every dollar. Level 4. Millionaire but not set for life. $1 to $2 million. This is the number everyone chases. Cross $1 million, and it finally feels like you've made it. So how can someone with less end up keeping more of their money than you do? Meet Tom and Linda. Both in their late 60s with around $1.5 million saved. Like most retirees, they spent decades feeding one employer's 401k, later rolled into an IRA, plus a small Roth and a little in a brokerage account. Social Security covers their floor. On paper, they look completely fine, but here's the reality check. Most of that money has never been taxed. It sits in traditional accounts, and every dollar they withdraw counts as ordinary income, taxed just like a paycheck. $1.5 million is worth a lot less after the IRS takes its cut. Even worse, a big withdrawal can make part of their Social Security taxable too. They get taxed on the money they take out, then taxed again as it pushes their benefits into a higher bracket. That's how a couple living on less can keep more of every dollar. Smaller withdrawals, lower brackets, less of their Social Security taxed. Tom and Linda's bigger number works against them. The key here is control, moving money into a Roth during the lower income years before the government starts forcing withdrawals, drawing from the right accounts in the right order. The idea is to keep your money in different accounts that's not all taxable. So you decide what your income looks like each year, not the IRS. It also gets personal fast. When Tom passes, Linda keeps most of the income, but now she files as a single person instead of a couple. The tax code is much harder on one person. Same money, a bigger tax bill, at the hardest time. Tom and Linda spent 30 years watching their balance grow and assumed it was all theirs to spend. A big number on paper and a number you get to keep are two very different things. And it only gets trickier from here. At the next level, the government stops letting you choose when to take the money. It starts forcing it out whether you need it or not. Level 5. Tax-trapped wealth. $2 to $3 million saved. For the first time, running out of money isn't the fear anymore. But the new worry is strange. How much of this money can you really keep? Meet David. He has around $3 million saved and almost all of it in a traditional IRA. He's not going to run out. But the way that money is set up is about to turn on him. At 73, the government forces you to start pulling money out of a traditional account, whether you need it or not. And that happens to everyone. But on $3 million, the forced amount tops $100,000 in a single year, taxed just like a paycheck. An income that size does real damage. It can bump David into a higher tax bracket, pile it up year after year, and it pushes him past the line where Medicare premiums jump to. A surcharge most people never hear about until the bill shows up. The same rule that's harmless when you have less saved now becomes a trap up here. The goal by 73 isn't to stop the withdrawal. You can't. It's to control where it goes. There are two simple ways. If David gives to charity, he can send the money straight from his IRA to the charity instead of to himself, up to $111,000 a year. It still counts as his required withdrawal, but since it never touches his pocket, it never counts as income. No higher bracket, no surcharge. Or, even if he's not charitable, he can still move up to $210,000 into a special annuity, and he doesn't need to worry about those money until 85. Less taxed income now, a guaranteed check later. And the survivor trap is at its worst here. When David passes, his wife files as a single person, where those tax and Medicare lines sit at half the income. She loses one Social Security check. The forced withdrawals never stop. David spent 40 years growing that number. Nobody warned him. We're told that if we save and follow the rules, the system takes care of the rest. It doesn't. When it comes to your money, the only person looking out for you is you. But that's the good news, because once you see the trap coming, a little planning before 73 keeps you in control. At the next level, the question is no longer how do I protect all this? It's how do I enjoy it and share it with the people I love? Level 6. Lifestyle wealth. $3 to $5 million saved. For the first time, you finally have enough, and you're not going to run out of money in retirement. So why do so many people at this level barely spend any of it? Meet the Hendersons. Around $4 million, careful with money their whole lives. Coupons, no fancy cars, 40 years of teaching themselves to save. And now they can't stop. That's the strange danger here. It isn't running out of money, it's never letting themselves enjoy it. They sit on a fortune and keep skipping the trips they could easily afford, until one day, they're 85, still rich, and full of things they meant to do and never did. The saddest retirement isn't an empty bank account. It's a full one, next to an empty calendar. The other big question is family. They want to help, pay off a kid's mortgage, cover a grandchild's college, hand over some of the inheritance now while they're still around to see it. That's a beautiful thing, and there's a smart way to do it. They can give each child $19,000 a year, tax-free. That's $38,000 if both parents give. And here's a little-known one. Pay a grandchild's tuition straight to the school, and it doesn't count as a gift at all. No tax, no limit. They could cover a whole degree. But one thing can still hurt, even with $4 million. Long-term care. A nursing home can cost more than $100,000 a year. 2 or 3 years of that can eat through $250,000 in savings. The good news is, $4 million can handle it, but only if you plan for it ahead of time. And here's where you can finally relax. For the first time, you don't have to worry about your spouse managing without you. With this much money, whoever outlives the other will be okay. The real question becomes what's left over and who it's for. The Hendersons spent their whole lives asking, do we have enough? Nobody ever taught them the harder question. Enough for what? At this level, the money isn't a number to keep growing anymore. It's a chance to live the life you actually want and take care of the people you love. So at the very top, the question isn't about your life at all anymore. It's about your kids and grandkids and making sure what you leave them actually helps them instead of a massive tax bill. Level 7, legacy wealth. $5 million and up. You've already won the part everyone worries about, your retirement is secure, and you're not going to run out. But that leaves one last question. What happens to everything after you're gone? Meet the Reyes family. They built a business over a lifetime and have around $10 million, far more than they'll ever spend. Money was never the problem. What troubles them is what all of it will do to the people they leave behind. First, the tax everyone dreads won't touch them. A married couple can hand down around $30 million before a single dollar is taxed. Almost every family at this level owes nothing, so you can let that fear go. The real danger is one most people never see coming. Say the Reyes kids inherit a large traditional retirement account. Under today's rules, they must empty it within 10 years, usually right when they're earning the most, and tax the most, in their 40s and 50s. A lifetime of careful saving can land your own children with a huge tax bill. But the answer is the same as every level. The type of account matters more than the size. Money left in a Roth, an account where the tax is already paid, still comes out within 10 years, but every dollar of it is tax-free. So move what you can into a Roth and bring in a good lawyer and a tax expert to handle the rest. You don't have to figure this out alone. Now the whole journey comes full circle. Remember Carol back at level 1, wondering whether the surviving spouse could even make rent? At the top, it's the same question, but just bigger. Will the people you love be taken care of fairly, long after you're gone? That was the question all along. Retirement wealth was never just the number you saved. It's the life that number can support and take care of the ones you love. If this made retirement feel a little clearer, subscribe to the channel. I'm Allison. I read the fine print so you don't have to. I'll see you in the next one.